We are delighted today that Tiffany Trent is joining us for Easy STEM projects to impress students, parents, and administrators. Tiffany's been teaching for over 22 years, and 17 of the last few years have been spent teaching technology. She has been teaching STEM, Makerspace, ICT, and technology integration at international schools in Germany and England. She loves traveling. She's lived in 5 different countries, and as of now, she's visited over 40 countries. And I got a chance to talk with her earlier, and she does have some fascinating travels. Since coming back to North Carolina in 2018, she's been teaching STEM at Laurel Park Elementary. She's a Seesaw Ambassador, Google 1 and 2 educator, Screencastify Master Screencaster, and a Raspberry Pi certified educator. She has a passion for physical computing, video production, engineering, design challenges, and augmented reality. Her favorite thing about teaching is to see students and teachers come and tell her how they've taken something that they've learned in her class and applied it either at home or in other classrooms. So at this time, I'm going to stop screen share and I'm going to turn things over to Tiffany.
Thank you so much for that introduction. It was great. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and I will be sharing my screen. And hopefully everybody sees my screen, right? Okay, good. All right, so my name is Tiffany Trent. Here's my information. My Twitter handle is at TiffTr1. And I like to do things for free or cheap. and I do sometimes, let me just move this over here for a second. I do pay for things that I think are worth it. And so I do have a few different things that I do pay for. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about Panaform, which is actually from NC State. CoSpaces, which I love. It costs, if you want to do more of the things the tools that it has. Google Arts and Culture, YouTube 360 search, and arvr.google.com. And here's some apps on the iPad or Android devices. AR Maker, also Google Arts and Culture. CoSpaces has the gallery there. Merge Object Viewer, merge things, and merge Miniverse. There's a whole bunch of things, and we're going to talk to him about in detail, okay? And there we go. All right, a 360 view. This is Panaform, and back in the day, we used to have these things. It was popular several years ago, and you would draw a picture in there, and it would be it'd take a long time, right? But I've discovered that you can actually just upload anything you want directly in Panaform. But if you want the grids to color and to do like perspective, you can do that. But you can also just go straight to Panaform. And I've got this little image here. I've already have it downloaded. So I'm going to go ahead and go to Panaform. And I'm going to, it says try it. So I'm going to press try it. I'm going to choose an image. And there's the image I just uploaded. And this is just a picture I took. It can also be any Google slide. But look at this. Now it's 360, which I think is amazing. So it has my words up there, it has my words down there, but it's 360. And any kind of picture, any drawing, you draw a picture on a blank piece of paper, just take a picture, done. Any picture you take with any device is there, which I love that. The only downfall of this is you cannot save it. But also it has a VR thing right there too. So if you have a Google Cardboard or virtual headset of all, you can do that and just look around. So I love that. It's really easy. Kindergarten through 12th grade can do this. Super simple. Another one I like is Quiver Vision. There's lots of different coloring packs. So I'm just gonna play this little video here because it is a very good explanation of it.
Coloring pages come to life in 3D augmented reality, just as you colored them. Quiver uses augmented reality to magically turn coloring pages into engaging, animated 3D experiences right on your smartphone or tablet. Simply print, color, and play.
So I love that. It's so easy. And plus it is for almost every grade level. They have a ton of different coloring packs. One of my favorite ones is this one. It's making a flag. And when you play it, it actually plays the national anthem of all of these countries, which I think is really cool. And here's you just basically print it and scan it with your iPad and or Android, and it works. And I'll just show you really quickly the coloring packs. Now, some of them do cost money, but lots of them are free. And it has things like this California state parks, and there's animals and dot day things, and there's even scientific things that are really good. So I love that one, and I use it K through 5. My 5th graders love it just as much as the kindergartners do. The volcano one is their favorite. It shows the different layers of a volcano and then explodes. So people love that. They think it's great. They're like, oh, how shocking. And the color they use to decorate it will actually show up in the live version of that, which is really fun to show kids. I think it's magic. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. And then here's the student instructions. You just color your picture with the colored pencil. I found colored pencils are better than crayons. Make sure you don't go to the edge because the iPad looks at the whole picture and it turns blue. Open Quiver, scan the picture, it has turned blue, and then there are things you click on the iPad that makes it come alive, and super fun. Merge Cube. If you've never seen a merge cube, this is what a merge cube looks like. You can buy them, and it's amazing. You can also print them out. They're a little different. The printed out ones don't work as good as the regular merge cube, but it still works pretty well, especially with the virtual learning that we've had to do this year. I've definitely encouraged kids to do that. And I use double-sided tape to make sure it's nice and even as much as I can. And there's apps that goes with the merge cubes. There's Merge Explorer and Merge Object Viewer. And there's also this link to download the apps. And if you're not familiar with Merge, there's all kinds of things that you can do with it. And this is called CoSpaces, which I use the Merge Cube with CoSpaces because I want my students to not only interact, I want them to build and create. And CoSpaces, they build their own virtual world, which is what? Okay. But not only they build their own virtual world, they can code their own virtual world. So I love CoSpaces. It is amazing, amazing. Now it does cost money. Like I just bought, well, actually did a grant, Donors Choose, and it was $219 for 30 students using CoSpaces. the great thing about this is I actually have every single class that I teach. I could teach the whole school. I used CoSpaces with 4th and 5th grade mostly. And but I use like generic sign-ins like LPES, Laurel Park Elementary School, LPES 1, that's yours, LPES 2, that's yours, and the same password. And how I separate it is the assignments are actually the teacher's names. And so they know to click on their teacher name, and then they can build their merge cube. And I want to just show you this introduction to that. And this is what the merge cube looks like. They create any type of environment they want. So let's start with an empty one. And the kids actually sit the merge cube in CoSpaces. They can manipulate any way you want to. And they can actually interact with it. And this is them viewing inside, and they can actually put things inside. So I think it's amazing. And I do have a couple of things that my students have done in CoSpaces. They were in 5th grade, so I had them do biomes. And this is one they did. Now, they don't have to have the merge cube to actually do this. They can just do it online, which is what some of them did. But the merge cube makes it so they can hold it in their hand and interact with it. So if I click on it, it'll fly around. And they can move. And they have these animals. So they coded it. So when I hover over it, it kind of scratches it. When I click on it, it eats. And there's a sheep. They have running around the tree when I click on it. And they coded that. And here's a wolf. And it howls at the moon. And here's another one that I have. And this person decided to put her environment inside the merge cube. So when I click on it, they all have something they do when I click on them. And I can see like all the different animals moving. So the kids absolutely love this. They love it. And they think it's so great. And of course, when you're holding it in your hand and then actually touching the iPad and interacting with that, it's phenomenal. I love CoSpaces. And I love that Donors Choose, yay, gave that to me this year. And I paid for it last year because I just love it so much. It's really good. Oops, sorry. Okay. Oops, sorry. Okay, come on. Here we go. Okay, I went to NC Ties and I found out all kinds of AR and VR type projects. Kendra Cameron Jarvis's website, I could spend all day in there. It's just so phenomenal. Travel the world from home. There's virtual field trips that are just phenomenal. There's so many of them. The Hubble Control Center.
You are now in the mission.
You can actually move it around.
This is the command center where flight engineers communicate with Hubble. Every day they send commands.
Isn't that phenomenal? And then the 100+ virtual tours, the mini passport. Look at all these tours. Anne Frank House. I've actually been there and it's amazing. Ellis Island. Look at, this is so connected to the curriculum. And she did all this work for us. So we don't have to do anything. We just have to click on something. Tour England, Ireland, Alaska, seafood VR, like, oh, Great Barrier Reef. I was just talking about that to Emmy when before this. Lions, Paris. Look at all that. That's phenomenal. And my rule of thumb is if I'm not having fun, then the students aren't having fun. So I like to do things that are super fun, right? And then exploring by the seat of our pants. They have all kinds of things that you can go to and connect with people. Street view treks. She's done so much research and it's great that we can look at that. The pyramids. Anyway, she's done a great job. She also has live streams, which are really cool from around the world, bald eagle cams. Wouldn't your students love to see that kind of thing? There's some ideas there. And then there's global projects, virtual Valentines, awesome squiggles. Like you'll need to actually play with this because it is amazing, amazing. Okay. And then I just discovered this because Google is always changing, always changing. I heard that Poly was going away, if you're familiar with that. I heard that Google Tour Creator, there's so many things going away, but on their Twitter feed, it is updated. And here's one of the things that I found on the Twitter feed. There's augmented reality, virtual reality. Look at all of those things they have it. Expeditions is going away, but there's VR 180, there's VR Earth VR. If you've not gone to Google Earth recently, it is completely changed. It has all kinds of tours and lessons and built-in everything. YouTube, who knew? This is dangerous because, but yes. So if I go to YouTube and just say, okay, let's do Lions 360. What? You can actually click on it and look. I'll just click on it.
Grammarly can help
of course,
you
there's an ad always, right?
So you never have to slow down.
Stop. There we go. Oh, look, you can move it.
Mother has to lead her cub.
You can actually move it. This is me grabbing it and moving it. It's 360. Who knew, right? That's so great. And there's so many different things on YouTube. You have no idea. Anything you're studying, if you go 360 and on YouTube, you'll find it. I'm just going to show you Google Earth. You might already be familiar with this, but Voyager is just phenomenal. You can have all kinds of Machu Picchu, the 5 big beasts of Africa, early global connectors, like there's lesson plans already, there's classroom activities. Carmen San Diego is a part of geography sleuthing. What? Like seriously, there are a ton of things. Storytelling. It's actually going through Looking Glass and just getting, there's so much to see, right? Metaverse is creating a story using AR. And it is, so what happens is you create a scene and create words, and then it's kind of like a choose your own adventure type thing, where you create the next thing that happens and the next thing, and they all have connections. But it's really amazing thing. And some things have already been created for you. So that's a really fun thing to do. And I also, just really quick at the very front there, sorry, okay. I also wanted to say AR Maker, it is on the iPad, and it's a story maker, and it's perfect for the little ones. Really, a really great thing. If you're not familiar with Google Arts and Culture, that is the go-to place. It's phenomenal. With Merge Cube, you have a museum viewer where you can go into different museums throughout the world and actually see it and hold it in your hand. There's Space Explorer you can hold in your hand. Mr. Body is holding a body in your hand and looking at the organs really close up and looking at all 360 view of them in your hand. And Dig is kind of like a Minecraft type thing where you can build with it. So that I wanted to put those on there so you can look at those in your own time. So are there any questions? Oh, I know, right? I think they're awesome. Fun stuff there. Sorry, I kind of flew through that.
Tiffany, these resources are just phenomenal, and almost for bite-sized PD, just a little bit overwhelming, because now I have to carve out time on my calendar to go through and really visit these. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
What I want to let folks know while I'm switching over to share my screen is to let you all know that we are recording these sessions, and that you will have an opportunity. Tiffany will have her own page set up, have an opportunity to go back, look at the PDF of the slides, look at the recording of today's session. But again, phenomenal resources that you've shared with us. And I'm, like you said, if you're excited about it, you know the kids are going to be excited about it. So exactly. I'm kind of the same way as you. So if you've got a question, type it in the chat. If not, unmute yourself and ask it out loud. Tiffany, Carolyn is asking about what headsets you use with your kids, if you use any.
I used to use headsets pre-COVID. Now I don't use headsets. I just have them turn the volume down, and it's not a problem really.
Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.